Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, which unfortunately has been gathering dust lately. The last video I posted here, I'm sad to say, was almost a full year ago, although my desire to continue this channel has not diminished in the least, and I dare say that I have more interest now than ever to create things and share them with you. The past year has brought a few unexpected changes to my life, all of which luckily are positive, enriching things, except for one thing, which ended me up in a doctor's office, but not to worry, all is fine now. I'd like to share these experiences, what I'm up to now, and how things look moving forward, both with this channel and with my work/life in general. By the way, these visuals you are seeing were shot throughout the last year. I've been compiling video clips in a folder titled Vlog on my desktop, but haven't gotten around to editing it all together until now. So it may seem a bit random and unconnected, and that's because it is. But such is life. And you've probably figured this out already, but I decided to write out everything I wanted to say in this video, in part because I'm a better writer than I am a speaker, and also because I wanted to cover a lot of ground and make sure not to leave anything out. If you want to hear how I talk when I'm not reading a pre-written script, you can listen to any of my podcast episodes. The podcast is titled Saxophone Journal, and it's a stream of consciousness, hilarious and insightful romp through the deep inner workings of my brain. LOL. Actually, I share my current thoughts off the top of my head, and you can hear lots of ums, ahs, and pauses. I enjoy both styles equally, planned and unplanned, although at heart I'm an improviser, but I wouldn't consider verbal improvisation a strength of mine, at least not yet. But I'm only 9 podcast episodes in, so I'll give it some time. In regards to these changes I mentioned, 2 quick and happy ones are that I became engaged and an uncle. These life changes are, in part, the impetus for getting a move on with current projects. It seems like time is moving a bit faster, and I've thus become more aware of how I spend my time, so I've tried to narrow my focus in certain ways. For example, since the beginning of the pandemic, I've played 8,390 games of chess on my phone. I know this sounds insane, but most of these games are what we call blitz games, where each player has only 3 minutes to make all of their moves. Some of the games are done in less than a minute, and at the end of each game, the app can automatically pair you with an opponent anywhere in the world who is close to your ranking. I became addicted to playing and was easily spending 2 hours a day on the app. Once I started gaining perspective on this situation, I was able to cut this down to a mere 15 or so minutes a day. Now I usually get my fix in the morning after I do my Duolingo Japanese lessons, and then try to leave my phone off for large portions of the day. Another change this year is that my college teaching load essentially quadrupled. I'm now teaching at 2 universities with about 20 hours of teaching time total. Lots of saxophone lessons, combo classes, and I started teaching secondary jazz piano lessons to non-jazz majors. Much of this time commitment was added just a few days before the semester started, so it caught me off guard a bit. Mainly, it diverted the attention I was spending on my virtual studio, which I plan to make more of a focus starting now. This year also led to many firsts in my performance life, including my first gig as a bandleader outside of Indianapolis, with my courageous trio including Joel Tucker on guitar and Jesse Whitman on bass. I finished my first piece for string quartet and saxophone, and had the first performance of my newest band, the Sean and Bowden Sextet. This band, along with my trio, are both recording albums this month. I'm also happy to have the return of the Sean and Bowden Large Ensemble, with 2 dates currently on the calendar in February and March. It's clear I spend 0 time concocting these band names, but I'm open to suggestions. Also, a shout out to the young, trailblazing band leaders Alex Shanafelt, Kent Hickey, and Andrew Danforth for having me play on their albums this year. As far as what ended me up in the doctor's office, an incredibly vicious case of poison ivy, which I contracted on one of my leisurely summer walks through various forested parts of Indianapolis. I even got freaking poison ivy on my face, which felt like someone was continuously poking a needle into my cheek. So I canceled gigs and saw a nurse who gave me 2 shots in my butt and a doctor who put me on 3 medications. I was fine in a couple of days, but I shall not soon forget nature's wrath and feeling punished for appreciating her beauty. That's about it as far as a recap. So now I'm in full-on project mode with, as I mentioned, 2 recording sessions on the horizon, lots of big band music to finish before February, and many exciting gigs approaching, including another first, my trio's first out-of-state gig in March at a festival in St. Petersburg, Florida. And for those of you interested in my educational content, stay tuned for upcoming practice videos, as well as a major shift with how I operate the virtual studio. More on that soon. Happy New Year to you all. Be well, and thanks for listening.